Hey, I'm Tyrese from a Howling Good Time Dog Training, and in this training tip video, you're going to learn a fast, quick, effective way to stop your dog from pulling, and we're starting right now. It can be a real pain if you have a dog who's pulling you on the leash. Like when you're taking your dog outside and your dog is pulling towards people, animals, dogs, different smells. And let's face it, it's a complete embarrassment when you're in your own neighborhood and your dog is pulling you everywhere out of control. So you know, like I know, if you're dealing with this issue, it can be super stressful. But you're probably thinking, just how do I stop my dog from pulling? You're gonna need 3 basic things. Number 1, dog treats. Make sure when you're using those, they can easily be broken into little pieces for training. Number 2, prong collar. Make sure when you're using this, you get a nice, snug, perfect fit. Number 3, a dog leash. So, 3 things: treats, prong collar, dog leash. Well, now that you have everything you need to stop your dog from pulling, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go out to an open park or an open area where there are low distractions. So now that your dog is hooked up to the prong collar and you have your treats, allow your dog to get distracted, and here's what you're gonna do. You're going to slightly pull on the leash, just slightly, not too hard. That is very important. Once your dog turns in your direction, you're gonna give a verbal marker, yes, and then reward your dog. Then you're gonna let your dog get distracted once more. Again, repeat the same process. You're gonna gently pull on the leash. When your dog turns in your direction and starts to come your way, you're gonna immediately say yes and reward your dog. You're going to do this over and over and over, and this is what we call a pressure on and pressure off technique. Because when you pull on the leash just slightly, your dog is going to feel the pressure from the prong collar. So the way that the dog learns to turn it off is to come directly to you in your direction. So you're gonna do this until the dog knows that when you slightly pull on the leash, the dog is automatically gonna come right over in your direction. Once your dog is consistently coming to you, when you slightly tug on the leash, now you're ready for the walk. So what you're gonna do is have your dog either on your right side or your left side, and you're gonna start to walk. Here's some ground rules. Make sure that your dog is walking right by your side, not too far out ahead of you or to the side of you or to the back of you. So now that you're starting out your walk, you're going to just walk in a straight line. You're gonna make it as easy as possible for the dog. Here's what you're looking for. You want the dog to stay directly by your side. So if the dog gets out ahead of you just a little bit, you're gonna give a slight tug. If your dog gets too far out to the side of you or the back of you, you're gonna give a slight tug in the direction to your side where you want the dog to be. Once your dog is really mastering the walk, meaning that when you walk, your dog is staying right by your side and it's not going too far ahead of you or to the side or to the back of you, now you're ready to start doing turns in different directions. So here's what you're gonna do. You're going to walk in a straight line, and then you're going to turn in any direction that you want to. But when you do this, you're going to give a slight tug on the leash so that your dog remains on your side as you turn. Even when you make a turn in another direction, if your dog is slightly behind you, that is okay. All you're going to do is give a slight tug so that your dog can speed up so that your dog remains on your side. Once your dog understands how to turn with you, now here's the fun part. You can start going in any direction you want to. You can go in longer turns, quicker turns. You can do complete circles. You can bob and weave through trees or other objects that you find outside. Now that your dog has a really solid understanding that no matter whether you're walking straight or turning in different directions, the dog's job is to stay right by your side. Once your dog is walking nice and politely by your side, whether you're going in a straight line or doing a bunch of twists and turns, now it's time to gradually add in the distraction. Here's what you're gonna do. You always wanna start with the lowest distractions possible. So maybe at an open park where there's a kid or two or maybe one dog, you're going to start out on the other side of the street and you're going to practice everything you've already been practicing. And that is making sure the dog is walking nice and politely by your side. If the dog pulls towards the people that are at the park or the dog that is across the street, if your dog barks, lunges, starts whining, trying to go towards that direction, you're just going to give a firm leash pop to grab your dog's attention. And then you're going to continue to walk like nothing ever happened. That is going to be the process when your dog tries to pull towards a distraction, bark at a distraction, or does constant whining at a distraction. As your dog gets better and better with walking nice and calmly by your side under low distractions, you want to gradually up the level of difficulty until you get to the point where you're walking past a group of people and your dog is not pulling, past a group of dogs and your dog is no longer pulling, and to the point where you can go into a pet store and your dog is walking nice and calmly by your side and paying attention, or to the point where you can go into any place in public that's dog friendly and you have a dog that is right by your side, not pulling whatsoever. Don't forget, sporadically throughout this training process, to reward your dog. You don't have to do it all the time, but make sure your dog kind of really never knows when it's coming so that your dog stays motivated to work hard.